House of the Dragon Season 3 is out in full on HBO. 8 new episodes around an hour each. This is of course the prequel show to Game of Thrones, based also on the George R.R. Martin novels, adapted by Ryan Condal, starring Matt Smith, Emma Darcy, Olivia Cook, and a number of others. The show picks up where we left off last season, with the war now being formally started and opened with a fiery, explosive battle of the Gullet. What follows is a continuation of that conflict, but with somewhat switched places. Rhaenyra, having managed to secure the Iron Throne and King's Landing, now struggles to keep it, to keep the populace fed and happy, to locate and destroy the remaining High Tower players. But with Aemond now in the haunted mansion of Harrenhal and Aegon roaming the lands in disguise, this might not be so easy. So, right off the bat, let me establish where I was with this show previously. First of all, I haven't read the book that this is based on, and I know a lot of book readers hate the changes. I have no idea what they are, and I was able to enjoy the show for what it is. Secondly, unlike most people, I actually loved Season 2. I thought it was almost as good as Season 1, with the exception of Daemon tripping balls in an abandoned castle for the entire duration, because unlike most people, I seem to care more for the political intrigue and tragic interpersonal conflict and bad decisions slowly spiraling out of control than about flashy battles with dragons. Having said that, I would say the third season is probably the weakest so far, and certainly the most uneven. Most of its problems boil down to the fact that it opens very boldly with a really good battle episode, then it gets sort of quiet and boring for 6 episodes, and then ends with another amazing battle episode. And the problem this time around is that the quiet in between is not nearly as compelling as before. With Alicent having her agency removed, I think the sort of dynamic between her and Rhaenyra is largely gutted. Otto no longer being present leaves a giant gaping hole in the show. Ormond and Larys and Kristen all seem like they have some interesting plans afoot, but then they all turn out to kind of not really have them. So we get this anticipation which largely fizzles out. I liked the arcs of Tywin Lannister, Gwaine Hightower, Ulf, and especially Aegon, who shockingly became my favorite character to follow this season. I think Rhaenyra, as much as I liked her previously, and as much as I enjoyed the episode devoted to showing her struggles as queen, is far too whiny and annoying at this point. On the other hand, we have Miss Arya, who is just atrociously boring. We have Aemond, who switched places with Daemon and is now himself haunted in Harrenhal, which is just criminal to repeat the same plotline for another character that everybody hated so much. So this is all to say that in these 6 episodes between the start and end, well, except the Rhaenyra dealing with queen shit one, in all those, it feels like the writing is no longer as good, the conflicts no longer as compelling, the story no longer as fascinating. I still enjoyed it somewhat, mainly because of the strengths of the actors as well as the quality of the production design, the costumes, sets, clothing, hairstyles, CGI on the dragons, really well done. And I do think that these bookend battles elevate the show as a whole and do a good job of being climax points that release the tension. But overall, I thought this was a noticeable step down from the previous 2 seasons, and with the next one supposedly being the last, I wonder on what level the show will wrap up.